Lord. Hi. Thank you, Lord. Thank you, my daddy. Welcome, 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 welcome to Omega Live with JJ, Woman Without Borders. How are you? It is Tuesday, May 5th, 2020, and you are watching Omega Live with JJ, Woman Without Borders. It is so good to see you. Thank you so much for spending your time this Tuesday afternoon with me. Yeah, today is an important day, guys. I mean, every day is an important day, right? It is especially important for the people in Mexico. Yeah, in Mexico, they are celebrating, you know what today is, right? The 5th of May in Spanish. What is it? Yeah, Cinco de Mayo. So I just want to say, Feliz Cinco de Mayo to all my Mexican amigos. Sí, sí. Yeah. It is also Read Across Jamaica the day today, guys. If school was in session, as in physical school, we would have been going to different classrooms and reading to our children, right? Promoting literacy, right? It's very important. You know how important reading is as an adult, right? And so we have to instill it in our children. And as this is also Child's Month, May is Child's Month, right? So we would have been going around the schools and promoting literacy among children by reading to them, reading stories, and let them see the importance of reading and how it stirs up the imagination, right? And how you get, you learn things. And as you know, I'm doing this program, right? Because my people are destroyed for lack of knowledge, right? And so knowledge is important. So you want to instill that in persons that one way for you to learn, for you to gain knowledge is by reading. The more you read, the more you know, right? Absolutely. And so, unfortunately, because of COVID 19, that has been disrupted. Nevertheless, guys, you are home with your children. It's a good opportunity today, right? Take up a book, turn off the TV. Of course, you're watching my program, so you're not going to trouble YouTube right now. But after my program is finished, okay, you're going to take up your child or children, you're going to get a book, you're going to open that book, and you're going to read to the child or your children. Yes, you're going to do that, okay? Make sure to do that today, right? As this is Read Across Jamaica Day, okay? And even though you're not in a physical school, even more important, guess what? The parent reading to the child or the guardian, that is so special. It has such a special connotation to it. Just having you, the parent, and not some stranger reading to that child, right? Absolutely. Okay, so ensure to take up a book today, right? Don't let the day end before you take up a book with your child or your children today, okay? Absolutely, absolutely. Oh, it is also, today is also Asthma Day. Asthma Day. They're promoting, asthma is one of those COPDs, right? COPD, chronic obstructive pulmonary diseases, right? They're not curable, they're incurable. They're constantly with you, but there are ways to manage them, right? And so, for example, a person that usually have been allergic reactions to things, that persons who smoke, guys. I'm not knocking anybody. You want to smoke, but remember, right, that when you smoke, okay, you are endangering the life of somebody else. I mean, I said to people all the time, remember, we have freedom of expression. You can always want to kill yourself and go ahead and smoke and kill yourself. That is fine. We all have to die at some point, right? It's appointed unto man wants to die. But guys, do not, okay, jeopardize the life of somebody else. And you know that more persons die from passive smoking than those who actively smoke. Did you know that? People who actively smoke, the persons who are actually the passive smokers, meaning that, for example, you smoke, but your wife doesn't smoke, for example, and smoking killed her before you, and you wonder why she died, and leave you. All right, passive smoking, right? It kills more persons than the actual smoking actually does. Smoking also causes, lung cancer, guys, and other, respiratory issues. It's not good for persons who are asthmatic, right? To be around persons who smoke also, right? So on this World Asthma Day, let's play our part, right? To help and to bring awareness to this illness and also to help those who are suffering from it. I have a few persons in my family who are asthmatic, right? And I do understand how they suffer from this illness, okay? And so it's not a good thing, guys, and I wouldn't wish it on anybody, right? And so if it is that you know someone who is asthmatic, then make it an effort, make an extra effort today, guys, to try to do things that would not exacerbate the problem, make them feel any worse than they are, right? Dust and all these things are also, contributory factors, right, to an asthma attack, right? Stress, okay, can also cause an asthma attack. So you want to ensure, guys, that persons in your family or in your friend or your friends who are asthmatic, they have as stress free a life as possible. I know it's not possible to be stress free, right? But because with all that is happening, and there are also good stresses too. Stress is not always a negative thing, but it's another topic for another day, right? But the point is, right, by and large, right, stress, you want to ensure that persons are not too stressed, especially if they're asthmatic. Okay. Yeah. So, guys, lots to unpack for you today. I have so much to unpack for you today, guys. I might have to go into Wednesday with the unpacking. Yeah, because we had a press briefing yesterday, right, at the Prime Minister's office. We start to look out for this every Monday. Every Monday evening, we look out for the press conference at the Prime Minister's office. Now we know, and so they because he brings a team of ministers to give their spiel, right? And then he gives his. He starts it out and then he ends it, of course. So a lot was said yesterday. A whole lot of things are happening. So I'm going to unpack for you. But in the interest of time, I might not necessarily have all the time to unpack everything today. We'll see. Because, I limit myself, not because I couldn't do a longer program, but because of the fact that I'm using my data and I want to ensure that I have, enough gigs every day to do the program, right? So it doesn't make sense to have, one day feast and the next day famine. Yeah? Yeah, that makes no sense. Absolutely. So therefore, I am going to limit my time as usual. So if it is that I'm not finished, I will continue again tomorrow with the unpacking because a lot to unpack. Absolutely. Okay, so you know how it is. I give you my 2 cents and then I give you my commentary on it, right? I give you the news and then I give you my commentary on it. And so, of course, as I said before, I might not be able to finish everything. So we'll see. All right. First thing first. Let me start off with another Ananda alert, guys. Another Ananda alert. Our teenagers are going missing. Too many of our teenagers are going missing. This one says, an Ananda alert has been issued for 14-year-old Tanika Brown, who has been missing since April 30th, 2020. Right? So it's already 5 days since she's been missing. That's not good. She's of dark complexion, slim build, and stands at 5 feet 3 inches tall. She was last seen wearing a green spaghetti strap blouse with leggings. Anyone with information concerning this young teenager, Tanika Brown, you're asked to contact the Portmore Police Station at 876-989-8422. Again, the number is 876-989-8422. Or, you can also call 119, or, you can call the Crime Stop number, which is 311. Of course, you can also visit the nearest police station to you, right? To make a report. Absolutely. And guys, remember, as I told you yesterday, okay, was it yesterday or Friday? I said it in my program about this being Child Month and taking extra special care of our children. Right? If you see something, say something, and don't assume. Let's not assume, guys. That's why we're not supposed to judge. Judging is assuming. Assuming is judging. Okay? Let us not do that with regard to our children and say, "Oh, she ran away with a man." Or if you see her somewhere in a compromising position, believe it, that it's something that she wants. Sometimes she's under duress. You understand? It's not something that she's welcoming, but sometimes she feels as a child, she has no choice. And remember, children don't think the way we think. Their cognition is not as developed as ours. And even we as adults make stupid decisions sometimes, right? Foolish decisions sometimes. And we get so fearful sometimes. And so we succumb to things that we would never normally succumb to out of fear. So imagine a child, how fearful that child is. And if she's being threatened, then of course she might think she has no other option than to acquiesce or basically agree with her oppressor or predator, right? So if you see something, guys, talk. Okay, call the police. You can do it anonymously too. You don't have to let them know if you don't want to get involved. Because some of us are like, we know we don't want to. We see no evil, speak no evil, hear no evil. So if you're one of those kind of persons, you can do it anonymously. Okay, but the point is, guys, we have to protect our children, right? And as it was said, it takes a village, right? We have to be our brother's keeper. That's all I'm going to say on that one. All right, so continuing, it's now 57 days since the first confirmed case of coronavirus disease, COVID-19, hit the shores of Jamaica. You remember when that imported case came, right? On the 10th of March. We have not forgotten. Since then, it's been 57 days. And today, we now have 471 confirmed cases of the COVID-19. According to the Minister of Health and Wellness, the Honorable Dr. Christopher Tufton, the two new cases since yesterday, because remember yesterday I gave you the number, it was 469, right? And now it's 271. So we have two new cases. That's good though. Only two new cases. I mean, I gotta say, yay, because it's two new cases. We're so used to these big numbers when we only hear two, It's like good news, right? So the two new cases is a 20-year-old female who is from Clarendon and a 12-year-old male from St. Catherine. So these are, teenagers basically, right? She's 20. She's just coming out of her teen years. And okay, so basically for my big data people, I'm going to give you some numbers, right, as we have them for today. So, okay. Oh my God, we have big recoveries, guys. People are recovering left, right, and center. So, they did a total testing of 5,830 to date, right? And of that number, 5,320 came back negative. As I said, 471 are positive. So we have a difference of 39. Those are pending, right? So those 39 pending, I'll have numbers for you tomorrow. Let's hope they all come back negative now. Those 39, we would love that, right? 39 negative. Yeah, so we'll know tomorrow about those 39 that are pending. I'll have that information for you. Yes. Now we have 454 persons who are in isolation. Some more persons are in isolation, but the numbers in government quarantine is going down, guys. People are being released and going home. Yay! And you'll see why in a sec. So the government quarantine, yesterday we had 88. Today we have 76. And reason being, we now have 49 recoveries, guys. Our number of recoveries has gone up to 49. Yes, that's more than 5 times the number of persons who are dying, guys, because we only have 9 deaths, right? And even though, it's a death, yes, but it's good news, yeah? Only 9 deaths we've had, and we are 49 recoveries. So we're happy about that. People are getting well. To God be the glory. Yes. So that's the number for my big data people. Yeah. Oh, let me and on the subject of big data, let me just give you some more numbers, right? Which is about all the international news you're gonna get for today. Anyway, so worldwide, as of today, as of when I got this news, because worldwide the numbers keep changing by the minute, yeah. So as of today, when I grabbed these numbers today, the world stood at 3.7 million confirmed COVID-19 cases. That's worldwide. And of that number, we have 253,241 deaths, right? 253,000, approximately 253,000 deaths. And we have worldwide 1.2 million recoveries. Yeah. 1.2 million recoveries. So people are getting well all over. In the Caribbean, we have over 13,000 in the Caribbean alone in terms of confirmed cases, with 630 deaths. The 5 highest confirmed cases in the Caribbean are, the leader, right? The Dominican Republic. The Dominican Republic stays in the lead with 8,235 confirmed cases. Puerto Rico is in second place with 1,843 cases. Cuba in third with 1,668 cases. And speaking of Cuba, whatever happened to those Cuban doctors that came here? I gotta get an update on that story for you guys, maybe for tomorrow or Thursday, yeah? We want to know what happened. We had 140 specialists coming here from Cuba. We haven't heard a word about them. Yeah. Okay. So, anyways, so Cuba has 1,668 confirmed cases, and Jamaica, we have to be updating the numbers. Yeah. We're like that. So we have 471 cases, and Martinique is in fifth position with 181. All the other islands have much, much smaller numbers. I think Trinidad has 100, and the number keep going down until I think Anguilla has three cases. No deaths, no recovery, but they have 3 cases. Yeah. Okay. So that's for my big data people. All right. So continuing. So, which one should I give you next? Or let me give you this one. Yeah. So meanwhile, the Port Mario mayor is calling for the government to quarantine 2 communities that recorded 6 of the 19 cases of the confirmed COVID-19 in St. Mary. Now, I got to comment on this, guys, because I am not understanding what is happening here. Now, help me out here. You remember when all this started, right? That lady went to funeral in Bull Bay. That's all she did. Went to a funeral in Bull Bay, right? And oh my God, they shut down Bull Bay. You remember, right? Remember that the person, confirmed case, father died in Clarendon, right? Corn Peas, remember the Corn Peas community, right? I did all of those. Guys, you can always go back into my library and find those back issues when I spoke about those on my program, right? And remember, guys, when you're watching, if you're liking what I'm saying, remember to give me my thumbs up. Give me my thumbs up, guys. I'll keep the thumbs up coming, yeah? Thumbs up. And thank you for my new subscribers. I have a few more new subscribers. Thank you for my new subscription. And guys, remember to subscribe. I didn't realize that you needed an email to subscribe. I found that out yesterday. But the solution to that, guys, is simple. What I normally do, which is why I did not realize, when I go into my Gmail, I keep my Gmail account open. So when I go to any other site, right, and if I'm on YouTube and I like something and I subscribe, when I click the subscribe button, automatically it subscribes. But that's because I have my Gmail account open in the background. So you guys with your Gmail account, you can do that. So when you come onto the program, you don't have to sign up or do anything further because you would have already been signed into Gmail. So Gmail and YouTube belongs to Google and Gmail belongs to Google. It's all, the same. So you just click on the subscribe button once you have your Gmail account open. Yeah, that's a solution. All right? Give a little tip there. Yes. Continuing, as I was saying, in the program, I discussed the fact that, so they locked down Corn Peas, right? Because the gentleman died in Corn Peas. They locked down Bull Bay because the lady went to a funeral in Bull Bay, okay? Now, these parishes have these cases, right? Portland have quite a few cases. Port Mary have quite a few cases. And nothing is being done in terms of quarantining anywhere. You notice that, right? And still they're talking about 30-something plus persons who they're not quite sure. There are no linkages as to how they got it. Really? You think? So it got to the point now where St. Mary alone has 19 cases, guys. 90 cases in St. Mary. I mean, nothing close to St. Catherine with their 200 and change, but still a lot for St. Mary to have 19 cases, right? And still no talk of a quarantine in St. Mary. So till the mayor of Port Mario have to now come forward and say, I want a quarantine. Hello? I mean, what's happening here? The mayor have to say to somebody, we need a quarantine. Why is there no talk that there should be a quarantine? So many questions and so few answers, yeah? Anyways, so we are told by the CMO, the Chief Medical Officer, Dr. Jacqueline Besacer, that we are now current. Was it her or Dr. Tufton said it? One of them said it. I think it was Dr. Tufton who said it. We're now current for testing of COVID-19. So there are no more backlogs. So nobody should say that they're waiting for their results because there are no backlogs. Samples being tested now are those collected on May 3rd. And that was spoken yesterday on the 4th. So we are current with regard to our testing. There are no backlogs. And according to Dr. Tufton, he also said that the inspection of unregistered facilities are to begin within the next 2 weeks. He noted that 164 monitored inspections and 118 registration inspections were conducted during the last fiscal year. Remember, I did the story when I talked about these facilities, right? That they are governed and they are governed by the Act, the Nursing Home Registration Act, right? So these nursing homes is what we're talking about. Many of them and hospitals, the hospitals, the private hospitals also fall under the same act, right? And so many of them are unregistered. As I told you before, only 4 private hospitals were gazetted, right? So an investigation was launched, and the health inspector has now said that they are going to be doing some more inspections, right? There are 2 kinds of inspection. They have the monitored inspection and the registration inspection, and that's going to be done within the next 2 weeks to ensure that these facilities, they're up to date, they're registered, they're certified. He wanted to point out, right, that the number of the unregistered nursing homes that have been inspected, if they do not meet the requirement for registration, right, then they cannot be registered. So that's what happens sometimes. That they're not inspected, but sometimes when they're inspected, they do not meet the requirements, right? Of course, one could always ask the question, so why are they still operating if they do not meet the requirements, right? I guess they're saying that they're given the option, or they give them a time frame to become compliant, to make themselves, suitable for inspection, then put it that way, right? That could be an argument, right? Of course, with regard to, for example, Andrews Memorial Hospital, which you basically can't shut down per se, right? They're not registered, but it doesn't mean that they're not functioning in other departments quite efficiently and effectively, right? Even with the MOU that was signed by the minister for them to be an extension of KPH, they are functioning in that regard, right? And they're doing it successfully too. So while they might be failing in one particular area, they're not failing in all the areas, so they're still functioning, right? So the question was asked whether or not the fact that the MOU was signed and they're not registered, if that was going to be withdrawn. And the minister quite emphatically stated no, because we need the service. We need their service. It's not as if we can just shut down the Andrews Memorial Hospital. No, we can't do that. Not in COVID-19. We don't have the capacity to do that. We can't afford to do that, right? We need all the facility. We need all hands on deck. So we have to make the best of what we have, right? While at the same time try to do better. That's what COVID-19 is doing, is just exposing. But the exposure doesn't mean that you're going to close down facilities, right? It just means that you're not aware of the problem and you're going to try to solve the problem, right? Okay, and I already discussed with you the previous episode. You can go back into my library to find it, where I talked about how one solves problems, right? So there's a problem that needs to be solved, and you just need to find a way to solve the problems. There are always options, yeah? Okay, so now I get into the meat of the matter now with regard to the Prime Minister's speech, his section of the press release. So he said, the Prime Minister, according to the Prime Minister, the Honorable Andrew Holness, at the press briefing, the government is contemplating adjusting the orders based on advice from the relevant authorities and in the public's interest. Right? So he is discussing, as he is saying, basically all those orders that were put in place. They're looking at them to make adjustments. But in the meantime, the national curfew has been extended, guys, for a further 7 days, beginning tomorrow, Wednesday, May 6th at 6 a.m. and will end on Wednesday, May 13th at 6 a.m. So our national curfew was scheduled to end tomorrow morning, right? And we were looking forward for it ending tomorrow morning. Yay! Some of us were saying. Prime Minister was like, sorry, we're going to do 1 more week. So the curfew is extended for 1 more week, right? From 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. Right. So it will not. So tomorrow we have curfew again. It will not end at 6 a.m. tomorrow morning. It will continue. So 6 p.m. tomorrow evening, curfew is on, and it will continue until next week, Wednesday, the 13th of May, when it will end at 6 a.m. Unless, of course, he comes back next week, Monday, and says something different. Yeah. Yeah, but that's what he said. So if Prime Minister said, under the Disaster Risk Management Act, Basically, everything, all the other orders are going to be remain in effect until the 31st of May. And you know, all the other orders, right, under the DRMA, operating hours for business are supposed to be between 8 a.m. and 4 p.m. That stays in effect until May 31st. Okay, gatherings in public places must not exceed 10 persons at any point in time, right? That stays in effect until May 31st. Your mask must be worn in public. Once you're going outside, you must put on your mask. That stays in effect until May 31st. And I even heard the Prime Minister say it might become your new norm. It might become a new norm where you're permanently wearing masks, guys. I don't know about that, Mr. Prime Minister. I really don't know about that. Anyways, you gotta wear your mask, guys, until at least May 31st. The work from home related measures remain in place. Also, persons 65 years and over not required to go to work. Persons who are ill should also not go to work, and persons who are over 70 years of age must stay home. Not a may, must stay home. Now, I have to say something about this before I continue with the orders, before I forget. Mr. Prime Minister, I hear you keep saying this, about the fact that the 70 years and over must stay home, and it's going to be almost mandatory, continuing, like it's going to be, perpetual, wherein 70 and over have to stay home. Your reasoning, I'm presuming, you're saying that when these people out there going out, that's when they're going to catch the COVID-19. I will have to remind you, sir, that all those, and you made reference to the fact that most of the persons who have died were in that age range. But I have to remind you, sir, that most of these persons who died were persons who came into contact with confirmed cases, which means that they were in a multi-generational family and someone in the family had it and gave it to them. It's that out the street they went and caught it. They caught it right in the comfort of their home, in the comfort of their living room. Yeah. The 63-year-old who died, right? The Alarico employee went home and gave it to her. Yeah. So it's not, so you deciding to keep 70-year-olds and over in their homes perpetually, it's not going to work, sir. It's not about them going out there and getting it at all. They are getting it right in the comfort of their home from their relatives who go out there and contract the disease and then bring it home to them. Yeah? So you might have to rethink that one, sir. Continuing. So he says, also under the DRMA, operating hours of markets and vending in public arcades and public transportation centers is from 6 a.m. to 4 p.m. Monday through Saturdays. That is also in place until May 31st. He also says employers have a duty to provide transportation for workers exempted from the curfew hours. You heard that. He also says restrictions relating to barbershops and hair salons that also remains in place until May 31st. The closures of bars, nightclubs, other places of amusement, beaches, rivers, waters, and other attractions remain in place. They are also closed until May 31st. And I did not realize that. How come I did not realize that? That one that missed me. I thought he said after the Easter holiday, the beaches would have been open. Apparently not. He said the beaches are closed until May 31st. I don't know about that one, Mr. PM. Until May 31st? Really? The entire month of May, no beach? I mean, not even to go and sit on the. I mean, you're not going to the water, but you should be able to at least sit on the on the beach itself, the sand, and look over in the water. Yeah, maintaining your social distancing, physical distancing. Why not? I don't know if I like that one. Yeah. Anyways, yeah, that is in operation until the 31st of May, he says. Yes, gas stations still 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. That's also still until May 31st. Yeah. Public transportation and related restrictions from 5 a.m. to 7 p.m. Remember, he had said basically curfew is from 6 to 6, right? But the persons who are transporting you, they need to get home too, right? So the bus drivers and the taxi operators, they have between 5 a.m. and 6 a.m. and they also are between 6 p.m. and 7 p.m. By 7 p.m., they must be off the road, right? So, yeah. Okay. So, guys, I want to go because I'm gonna, yeah, you all know the orders already. I'm not gonna go into more orders, but I want to get to two things, two very important things that we have to cover today. All right. So one is the Ministry of Education, and the other the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and Foreign Trade. And I know you want to hear about this. Yeah. Okay. So let me give you the education piece first. So, according to the Minister with responsibility for education, the Honorable Carl Samuda, he says the online and distance learning classes will continue until July 3rd. So more or less what he's saying that the school term is ending July 3rd. And the new school term will begin on the 7th of September 2020. So after July 3rd, school is closed. School is closed until September, right? And school reopens on the 7th of September. So he said something very interesting. Okay, so before I said that, he said the first 20 days will be reassessment. The first 20 days, so when school will open on the 7th until the 27th of September, you'll basically, it will be a reassessment period. Okay, so persons were off, and some were doing online training, taking online classes, some were not. So there has to be an assessment. But this is the key though, guys. He said there are 31,000 students who have not been getting lessons. 31,000 from school closed. There are 31,000 students who have not been getting lessons. Why? I mean, we know why, don't we? But let us say it. Why? Because they have no internet access. Didn't I ask this question in a previous program? Go back into my library, right? I said it. Didn't I say that? And here it is. 31,000 students, guys, have not been getting lessons because they have no internet access. And I want to opine by saying that I guarantee that there are more students than those 31,000 who have not been getting lessons, even though they may have internet access because of poor internet service. Yeah? Because we know the issues we have with the internet, don't we? And especially when there are so many persons at home in the community online, we see how the service fluctuates, right? Mm-hmm. So, and the persons who don't have internet access, there are also persons with internet access who don't have maybe a laptop or a smartphone, because these lessons cannot be put on a banger, and they don't understand that many persons only have a little banger phone. Yeah. So that number, guys, is not in the 31,000 who do not have internet access. So it's a lot more. So they're going to be doing, they say, their assessment for the first 20 days when school reopen. Okay, so I'm going to quote the minister now. He says, okay, so secondary school placement will be released by June 26th. Now, in order for a determination to be made as to which grade you're going to go into, what they're going to do, they are going to assess your grade 4 numeracy and literacy exams in 2018. Your grade 5 performance tasks, and that involves maths, language arts, social studies, and science in 2019. And then for the grade 6, they did an ability test in February. That's going to be used. Okay? So that's what they're going to be using, guys. And let me repeat it again for those who didn't get it, just so you understand. So the grade 4 in 2018, the grade 4 numeracy and literacy exams are going to be used for assessment. The grade 5 performance task is going to be used. That was in 2019, right? So that was your math, your language arts, your social studies, and your science. Those are going to be used. And your for the sixth graders, your February accessibility test that you did in February, that's what's going to be used to determine where you are going to be placed. Yeah. So you will know, for those who are going to high school, which high school they're going to be going to come June 26, 2020. That's when you're going to get all that information. Okay. So in lieu of PEP, this is what is going to happen to determine those persons who are going to end up which grade they're going to end up in, whether they're going to end up in grade 5, 6, 7, come September So come September 2020, but you'll know by June 26th, 2020. Yeah. He also says for the CXC assessment for late June, he was basically saying late June, July, or September, October, right? But the final decision, he says, will only be made after the heads of government meet at CARICOM, right? So the heads of government will meet, of which our prime minister will be going there, and so they will meet. I don't think he'll be going there. I think they'll be doing a virtual. I think they'll be doing a virtual meeting, right? I think they'll be doing a virtual meeting. But the heads of government for CARICOM, they will meet, and yeah, because this is going to happen. Like I think the meeting is either Thursday or Friday of this week, so it has to be virtual, right? Yeah, and so at that time they will discuss and make a final agreement as to how they will treat CXC. Yeah, he says the tertiary level institutions will make their own decisions regarding closing the current year and the beginning of the new school year. He also said that NCTVET, the National Council on Technical Vocational Education and Training, they will use an online testing of the theoretical component of the assessment. That's what they will do. While City and Guild will use the calculated results, which will include a teacher assessor estimated grade and judgment of that result. Okay. Yeah. So that concludes. I must say one more thing about that. He also said that there are 238 schools in remote areas that are without internet. 238 schools in remote areas without internet. However, Ready TV has stepped up to the plate. I'm telling you guys, it's all hands on deck. So Ready TV has stepped up to the plate to assist with enabling those schools to have internet access. Awesome. That is good news there. Yeah. And so that takes care of our education news for today. One more thing I must tell you about that. Yes. He said, and this again for my people who love big data, right? We love big data, don't we? Big data. He said that the ministry is responsible for some 557,000 children, right? 557,000 children, dealing with some 2,941 institutions, right? And 37,600 teachers. That's a lot. And that seems as if we need more teachers, doesn't it? That seems that we need a lot more teachers, guys. 557,000 is a lot of students for 37,000 teachers. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So continuing. So I want to play a clip for you guys. So yeah, I'm going on to the Minister of Foreign Affairs and Foreign Trade, the Honorable Kamina Johnson-Smith, right? I want to play for you the clip. I'm going to play her clip so you can hear from the horse's mouth. And then I give you my spiel. Listen.
Feedback on the experience has largely been positive, and we've had 687 mails inquiries and have answered 596. The biggest issue for most people, of course, is when will their approval come through?
Jump COVID.
Of course, a close second to ask when can they come home. It's probably therefore important that at this time I remind everyone that we are still in a global pandemic. Persons coming home are returning from high-risk jurisdictions, so we have to make sure that their return is undertaken in a managed way. As we've stated before, this means that we will only return those numbers of persons that the health authorities confirm that we have sufficient quarantine and isolation facilities available. So as you would imagine, we are for the receipt of our first cohort of returning Jamaicans. And this will also allow me to segue to update you on another matter, and that is the return of the 43 members
Marilla
of the Discovery 2.
Yay!
The government has been working continuously on this matter to ensure that we achieve the best result for our nationals and for our country. Through our Jamaica High Commission, together with the Ministry of Tourism and their agencies, my ministry has been collaborating, and discussions have even reached as high as discussions between the Prime Minister and then Acting Prime Minister of the UK, Dominic Raab, current Foreign Secretary. As I had indicated, I think 2 press briefings ago, we were looking forward to welcoming our nationals back as soon as the ship owners recognized their obligations.
She said that.
This they did, and in fact confirmed to us by letter dated April 23rd. It, however, required a significant amount of further work for us to get to where we are today. And where we are today is that we announced that on Wednesday afternoon, by way of TUI Charter, we will welcome home from the United Kingdom 115 Jamaicans, made up of approximately 75 crew members, including the 43 of the Marilla, but from 6 other ships owned by the same cruise line. The additional 40 will be comprised of Jamaicans stranded in the UK who have been affected by the global pandemic in different ways and who have been in touch with the High Commission or with the Ministry regarding their particular challenges. We are also working on a cohort from the United States, and again, we are focused on persons who are having the most challenging of circumstances. It is in this context, I think it might be important, Prime Minister, for me to clarify that state quarantine, which is mandatory for persons returning, it is the policy at this point in time, is not free to taxpayers. It comes at a negotiated cost of $100 United States per day per person, inclusive of accommodation and 3 meals per day. I know you'll agree that this is a significant cost to bear. I know you will agree that at this time, it is important for our nationals who are experiencing challenges overseas to come home. And this is the compromise now being struck, balancing the rights with, of course, the public health risk. It is in this context that people have been asked within the framework of the Jam COVID app to make a contribution of $20 per day or to make family arrangements in respect of meals. It is, however, decided and has been decided by the Cabinet that in recognition of the particular challenges, the particularities of this week's arrivals and the circumstances under which they have been operating over the past 2 months, that the government will absorb the full cost of state quarantine. So this week's arrivals will be supported in their entirety by the Jamaican government. The cost of this will be approximately $64 million. This is a significant cost and one not to be downplayed. It is not, you can't put a dollar figure on the importance of our nationals, but we are recognizing that it is time and we are doing our part to have them come home. We are seeking to accelerate work on the protocols for home quarantine, but we trust that the public understands that even with home quarantine, and perhaps more so, there's a risk quotient that has got to be managed. Even with the appropriate technology, it will require health and security resources for home assessment and for health monitoring. After all the hard work and sacrifices we've made, after all the input and daily work of our health authorities, of our frontline workers, we can't get impatient at this stage, rush headlong and overwhelm our public health system. We have to act wisely, responsibly, managing the risks. And perhaps in this context, I can touch very briefly on the matter of the cruise ships. It's an emotional matter,
Listen to this,
and accordingly, one which I know tends to occupy a great bit of attention from the media and the public at large. So I would like to just update on the numbers of Jamaicans on different cruise lines who have either indicated formally or informally that they would wish to repatriate nationals. The Disney line, 215 Jamaicans. The Holland America Cruise Line, 37. Carnival, 342. Norwegian Lines, 130. Royal Caribbean Cruise Lines, 1,349. The San Nazaire Line, 37. MSC Line, 31. Exmar, 22. And there are 2 ships in Brazil with 10 Jamaicans between them. These are the ones which have made contact.
That's over 2,000 Jamaicans.
It is important for us to recognize that the Jamaican government is in discussions on these matters. We recognize the importance of bringing our nationals home, and we are grateful for the ship's recognition of their obligation to take care of our nationals while they are on their ships and subsequent to their contractual arrangements till they be returned home. We're committed to working with them to find the best solutions, but ask Jamaicans to be patient, to be understanding, to remember that we are all in a global pandemic together, and accordingly, timing is important. We will be meeting internally as early as tomorrow to have further discussions about processes, and Minister Chang, who is the Minister of National Security, will be corresponding formally with the cruise lines as well regarding our current situation under the Disaster Risk Management Act and our understanding of the obligations of cruise lines under the relevant international conventions. With that, Prime Minister, thank you.
Okay, so you heard from the horse's mouth there, guys. The Honorable Kamina Johnson-Smith making her contribution at the press briefing yesterday. So first of all, we don't want to count the chicken before they're hatched, right? But we want to say, yay! For those Marilla Discovery 2 crew members, right? Remember, we have been lobbying for them to be returned, repatriated, right? They came close. They came here on the 2nd of April, 12 miles offshore. And due to poor communication and somebody dropping the ball, they ended up in the UK, right? The ship went to Dominican Republic, let off their people. It went to Portugal. Portugal was like, no, our borders are closed. And so they ended up, right, in Southampton Pier, United Kingdom. Well, here it is now, guys. Finally, right? TUI, who owns the Marilla Discovery 2, right? They have, because you heard her talk about the obligations of these cruise lines, right? So they apparently have some agreement where they are responsible for the safety of these persons. And so they have come to an agreement where TUI has chartered a flight. And so the flight will be here tomorrow, guys, with those 43 Marilla Discovery 2 crew members. Yay! We are happy. We're happy for all of them, but especially those 43, right? Because they have taken over the news. We were just lobbying left, right, and center and asking about it because it was so heartbreaking to know that they actually came to Jamaica. Yeah, they came to Jamaica and could not land, right? I mean, the ship docked 12 miles offshore to refuel. And you know, anyways, we won't go back over that. We won't ever spill milk. We're just happy that these persons will be here finally tomorrow. We are looking forward to that. And of course, I probably won't have the full story for you tomorrow based on what time they come and what time I come on. But definitely by Thursday for sure, I'll have a full update for you with regard to that. All right. Awesome, awesome. That is such a good news. And you heard what the minister said, right? Basically, guys, $20. And notice, I've heard so many people talking so many different things. I just want to set the record straight because sometimes I wonder, if I'm listening to the same thing that some persons are listening to because I hear so many different things after. And I've been watching and listening and reading some of the tweets that people are saying. And I'm like, weren't you watching the press conference? Yeah, because she was quite clear in what she said, basically, that persons were only going to be paying $20 per day for their 14-day quarantine. And she said it was it was a set in stone. It was either the $20 or for persons who could make arrangements for their meals. So that $20 was supposed to be for their meals, right? So for persons who can make arrangements for their meals, they wouldn't have to pay the $20 either, which means the government would have been absorbing that $100 for them. They're already absorbing, guys, this week. So 230 persons are coming here because you heard talk about a cohort from the US, right? So 115 is coming from the United Kingdom, but the remainder coming from the US tomorrow. Yes, they're all coming tomorrow. So the total amount of persons who are coming tomorrow, guys, that's what's costing the $64 million, which is not a lot of money if you check it out. It sounds like a lot, but when you do the math, it actually works out to under 2,000 Jamaican dollars per day for room and board and food, 3 meals a day, guys. Yeah. So $64 million for this week, and you heard the government is absorbing that. So these persons are not going to be spending a dollar. They will not be spending any money. Okay, the government is absorbing that $64 million, and of course, when they absorb it, we taxpayers are the one who end up paying for it anyway. Yeah, but anyways, the persons will not be spending a dollar. The government is absorbing that $64 million. Thereafter, so those persons who are coming next week and week after next and whenever they're coming, these persons are the ones who will have to pay at least will have to pay the $20 or at least find their food, which means that the government will be absorbing $80 per person per day for these persons. Somebody did the math on 5,000 persons and came up with a figure of $822 million. But I'm here to tell that person that that figure is incorrect. I guarantee you it's going to be more than that. $822 million. Because in the first instance, if you were listening carefully, you would have heard. And let me tell you again that she said they have 4,682 applications. This does not include, guys, those who are on the ships. Now, you heard her give you a breakdown of those who are on the ships, who have expressed interest to come home. There are 2,173 persons on ships wanting to come home. Okay? Remember, they're on ships. They're on ships. They're not on land. They're on ships. So these are not persons who are on land in the US, in Canada, England, etc., on land, going to catch a plane, rebook their flight, and come. These are persons who are literally on ships around the world, right? And you heard the numbers. I'm not going to go back over those numbers. You heard them. I played the recording for you, right? So we're talking about over 2,000 persons. So in addition to that, we are talking about, guys, over 6,000 Jamaicans who are going to be coming into the island between now and the 31st of May. That's almost a nightmare logistically, guys. Okay? Okay, so I am going to play another clip for you, and this one is of the Prime Minister actually talking about this whole issue about the $20 that the Jamaicans will have to pay to come back into the island. So listen to this one.
The Jamaica Observer.
The Jamaica Observer is asking the question about the $20.
Microphone may be on mute.
I had the briefing yesterday. He was asking Camila, but the Prime Minister decided to answer. Listen.
This question is for Minister Johnson Smith. It's just a clarification I wanted on the. Did you say that the Jamaicans who will be coming in after this week will be asked to pay $20? Can you explain that some more? What exactly will they be asked to pay for and so on?
Listen.
If I may help out Minister Johnson Smith, who I believe answered clearly in the first instance, but just so that we're all clear, the cost to the government of Jamaica for the re-entry of Jamaicans who want to come home is estimated at about $64 million for this phase, which would be the 330 Jamaicans which we are budgeting for. Now, I want to make the point absolutely clear that we do not place a dollar value on our citizens. They have a right to re-enter Jamaica. We have to balance their right of re-entry with the right of the citizens who are here as well to their public health and the proper management of their public health. What we have said is that we will start by looking at the hardship cases first.
He said that.
And there are other areas that we look at to determine who would come in, various exceptions. But generally, we look at the hardship cases.
Right.
So the first set that are coming in would be considered under the general rubric of hardship cases, and therefore the cabinet took the decision that the entirety of the cost would be borne by the Jamaican taxpayer. We would ask for a contribution of $20 out of
it's
the $100 which
reasonable.
We estimate to be the cost per room and food going forward. Now, to be clear, this all depends on what we are able to negotiate. Sometimes it could be higher. Now, the government of Jamaica has to look at almost 5,000 persons who have applied to come in, plus those that are on cruise ships which have not yet applied.
Exactly, 2,000 plus.
Number growing. The government of Jamaica has to also be fiscally responsible and figure out how are we going to absorb the cost of state quarantining a large number of Jamaicans.
Over $1 billion.
The question is then, why not put people in home quarantine? And that question is currently being discussed and policies being developed.
No home quarantine, sorry.
But I want Jamaicans to understand the management of risk. We are now operating under what is called the Disaster Risk Management Act. What are the risks involved? There are significant risks involved in bringing in a new population into the island and having them dispersed right across the country to their various addresses. I want you to appreciate that in the instance of the workplace, we were able to identify a cluster. And in managing that cluster, we had to go and identify all their addresses. That was tremendous work. Then some of those persons who were infected in that cluster, we had to extract them from the community and place in isolation. And those who were in the workplace, we had to take some of them and place them in quarantine. We had to literally move them out of the community. And that was what was involved in managing that cluster. Now, can you imagine if we allowed general re-entry of 5,000 Jamaicans coming from 64 countries so far,
7,000
in areas that are highly vulnerable jurisdictions. They have high cases of the corona COV2 virus. And then just generally eventually in the population, not necessarily observing strictly and faithfully the quarantine rules, the challenges that could pose to our health system.
Exactly.
So we have to manage that risk carefully. So we will start by controlled re-entry.
Right.
We will develop the necessary protocols to be able to monitor, supervise, and serve eventually home quarantine. The resources to do that, we have to put them in place. Don't have those resources now. So can you imagine? We're not able to police. That is to ensure that each home is checked. That people who are in quarantine stay in quarantine.
You know how difficult that's going to be?
If we're not
no
able
home
to do
quarantine.
that, and everyone is at large, you place the entire population at
Exactly.
risk. So we're managing risks.
Then they're going to have community spread.
What we will be doing is to start in a phased basis with state quarantine, and eventually, as we develop capacity to be able to manage home quarantine, then that will be available for everyone who wants to come back home. But we ask for the patience. You know, I get the WhatsApps, I get the emails, I get the telephone calls. You know, Prime Minister, please let me come home. Some are less polite. But the truth is that we have to manage the risk. And I totally understand the issues at play, but this is part of just trying to keep Jamaica land we love safe. We're not trying to deny anyone their right to re-entry. That is totally acknowledged, but we have to do it in an orderly way.
Amen.
Thank you for that.
Okay. So you heard from the horse's mouth again, yeah? Yeah, so guys, $20, 20 US dollars. It's all you've been asked to pay. Nobody's asking to pay $150, as I've heard some people say, or $140 or $100 or whatever. No, all you're asked to pay is $20 to contribute toward. Because guess what? It's we same taxpayers here who are going to have to pay for this. You know, we think it's going to be paying for this. It's we taxpayers, and I guarantee you, this is going to run over into the $1 billion, guys. Not the minute, it's going to go into $1 billion as to when this is all said and done in terms of how much it's going to cost to repatriate over 7,000 persons. Because you heard it from your horse's mouth. Almost 5,000 applications for land. We still have over 2,000 persons on sea. Yeah. There's a lot of persons. Imagine the logistics. And then you want to put those persons in home quarantine? Are you crazy? No, we can't do that. They have to be in government quarantine. They have to be. You see, we have a little curfew and we're arresting 18 people because they won't obey the curfew law orders, right? Imagine. You think you're going to be able to control 7,000 people, sending them home? That's what's going to have a community spread. And we're going to have, a problem, of course. So they have to be in government quarantine. And again, guys, this is why we need all these hoteliers to come forward and allow your facilities to be used for a quarantine. And I hope you guys are watching and looking, as I told you in my my broadcast yesterday, right? Pay attention to those hoteliers who are not complying and are not offering, because they're the ones who want to charge you these big money that you want to go and pull off into their hotels. But they don't really care about you. They only care about their bottom line. Yeah? You're seeing that